Good evening, good evening. We are just going to let this count down a little bit longer just because I know that the YouTube monetization has started putting adverts at the front, and therefore just want to make sure that everybody gets the start of the video. Don't know how long your adverts last right now, but we're just going to let this count down and we're going to get going. Sometimes life can change overnight. Mine did. I've got cancer. You're watching Cyprus Unfiltered, where I tell you real stories about real life here in Cyprus. Now, look, I know a few of you have been following my story for a little while now. I've been following the health journey around in Cyprus. And I know healthcare is a big thing for a lot of people thinking about moving to the island. And so the point is, I'm just going to continue that thread, right? The point of this channel is never to sugarcoat anything. So the point is, I'm telling it as it is. You know, as an expat living in Paphos, totally raw, unfiltered. So earlier this week, I was formally diagnosed with cancer. And for those of you that remember, I've had this numbness in my face, and a lot of you can probably see this here, this lump that I've had for a little while. This has now been confirmed. This tumor has been confirmed as malignant. I'll be honest, I'm processing everything, but I wanted to speak openly about it because what has happened and what comes next, how it's going to affect Cyprus Unfiltered going forward, I kind of just want to make that clear for everybody. Now, this isn't going to be a polished medical documentary. It's just simply an honest update about where I am right now, but also about healthcare on the island. So I want to take you through the journey so far, what happens next, but also I want to just talk to you about general healthcare in Cyprus. And at the end, I want to leave you with something. I want to leave you with some thoughts. And I just want you to take something home, really, because it's been eye-opening to me. You know, the last few years, my life has been eye-opening, but I want you to drive something home. So just make sure you stick around for that, because I'm going to ask you some questions. For everybody on the call, I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, look, healthcare in Cyprus. One of the reasons I want to talk about this is because, like I say, a lot of people coming out to Cyprus, they worry about healthcare. They worry about what it's going to be like when you move abroad, especially if you're coming from the UK. If you're coming from the UK, you've got access to the NHS. And so people ask what Cyprus hospitals are like. Are the specialists any good? What treatment can you get if you need something? And what happens if something serious happens? Well, now, for me, something serious has happened. And I'm going to take you through it because, you know, again, this content doesn't exist. I don't know anybody that's doing this sort of content. So I want to show people and talk to people about what it's actually like to go through this on the island, right? My experience so far has shown that Cyprus is attracting highly experienced, world-class medical professionals. My surgeon, who's going to be doing the work on me, was born in Cyprus. He is responsible for 85% of all the head and neck cancer treatments done on the island. And when I heard that, I couldn't help but think, that's fine. But Cyprus is a small place. Like, everybody knows everybody. And just because he's the best on the island, is he going to do what I need him to do? You know, am I going to pull through? I started thinking, well, what about the UK? You know, I could go back to the UK and get treatment. What about Poland? I've got, you know, my wife's got Polish roots. As of last Wednesday, I've just got Polish citizenship. So maybe I could go to Poland now and get some treatment there. I even thought, what if it was money, no object, and I could go to the US and get treatment there instead, right? So I started doing some digging. I wanted to know who my surgeon was. And it turns out he's actually worked in the UK. It turns out that not only has he worked in the UK, but he is a very seasoned professional in the UK. He's published over 70 different articles and 70 different works of, I don't know what you call it. I'm doing him a disservice now. Whatever you call these things, these medical journals. He's done 850 serious procedures. It's going to be more serious than mine. And not only that, but he literally wrote the freaking book on what I'm about to go through. So much so that trainee doctors in the UK learn from him, learn from his teachings. So now he's come back to Cyprus. This is the guy that's looking after me. So if you're ever sitting there thinking, maybe the doctors aren't quite as good in Cyprus, like this is the guy that's been in the UK for years. He trains the UK doctors and now he's back here. So rather than going to a trainee doctor or a trainee surgeon, I have the guy who is trained and his teachings have trained other people to do what he's now going to be doing for me. So the quality of medical personnel on the island, I think, from what I can see so far, is bloody amazing. The fact that he's also available on the general health is also amazing. Now, what about the hospitals? What about the hospitals themselves? Well, I'll talk to you about the facilities a little bit. I'm going to show you where I'm going to get treated. But before I do that, I'm going to go over to this here. And I want to show you some options in the UK. These are the ones that I personally know of, right? So Queen's Medical Centre gets 3.4 out of 5, 3.4 stars out of 5. And I know somebody that was personally treated here. It's actually my mum was treated here for a brain tumour back in 2001. And, she came through fine. And that was all good. They removed cancer from my mum and all the rest of it. So that was Queen's Medical Centre, but it gets 3.4. Lots of people clearly not happy. Leicester Royal Infirmary. I used to live near here. It's about 20 minutes away from here. So this would have been another option. Had I been doing this in the UK, I might have ended up in Leicester. 3.3 on the scale there. I've had many runnings with Leicester Royal Infirmary. One of the gripes that I have about this place, never mind the treatment and the cleanliness of the hospital, but the cost of parking is astronomical. Like I remember going and visiting my mum when she was ill 2 decades ago, or more than that, 2.5 decades ago. And the parking charges back then were just ridiculous when you're trying to visit somebody that's sick and they're ripping you off on the parking. But anyway, that aside, I remember the Leicester Royal, when we were looking to have kids, we were told, don't go Leicester Royal, go to George Eliot. So George Eliot would have been another hospital that I might have ended up having this treatment in. It's only getting 3.6. Lots of people, some people like it, some people don't. We liked it from a childcare perspective, but from a treatment perspective, I hear bad things. So then we come on to where I'm in Cyprus. Now, this is where I'm going to be getting treated. It's the German Medical Institute in Limassol. 4.3 on the stars. I know it kind of doesn't really mean much when you look at it, but 4.3 on the reviews and everything else. But I've been told categorically by people that aren't doctors, but have experienced, so local people in Paphos, local people that have lived there all their life. As soon as I've told them German Medical Institute, they've gone, great, it's the best hospital on the island, and it's even better than the ones in Nicosia. Now, to put it in perspective, the hospital's over here, and I live over here in Paphos, or Paphos Way. So it's about an hour for me to get to this hospital. So every time I'm going back and forth, it's taking me an hour. But when you get there, right, I'm just gonna zoom. I'm gonna zoom in on this and show you some pictures. The views over Limassol from the hospital, they were stunning, right? The hospital itself was immaculate. You walked into the waiting rooms, and like the waiting rooms had panoramic views. It was just super clean, right? It was super high tech as well. They seem to have all the latest gear from what I could tell. But again, being a German institute, it probably does. And the only way I can describe it, it'll come back to me for a second. The only way I can describe it is when you go into a UK hospital and everything feels clinical, everything feels clean, but not necessarily in a clean way. It feels clean because everything's sterile. You smell disinfectant, you smell bleach, you smell all these kind of chemicals. Like you go into a toilet in a hospital in the UK and it just smells like disinfectant from the last person that, made a mess. I went into the toilets here while I was waiting and it felt more like a hotel. It felt like you could walk in and if you drop something on the floor, it felt like you could eat something off the floor in the toilet. It was ridiculously clean. Unlike the ISIS in Cyprus, which for those of you that saw my first video on Cypriot healthcare, the ISIS hospital by comparison, it was like something in a horror movie. The only thing it was missing was the flickering lights and maybe something hanging down and swinging. It was horrific. But this place, I'm over the moon. I'm feeling super confident that I'm going to be in the right place, getting the best treatment from the best doctors in the best hospital. So really positive. And the other thing I mentioned about the parking. So I'll just show you this. Go to the satellite view. I know parking is a minor thing. It's an insignificant thing when you're trying to get healthy. But just for comparison, and this is more of a comparison between the UK and Cyprus. So the parking in the hospital, you've got it all around the edges, you've got it all undercover here, and it is completely free. They're not charging you to try and get healthy. If visitors come, they're not charging you. It is all free. So not only do I feel like I'm going to get better healthcare, not only do I feel like I'm in the best hospital, but when people come to visit, assuming they do, I might just be there on my own, but if people come to visit, it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg in parking charges, you know? So again, it's just another example of why Cyprus is much less of a rip-off than the UK. But anyway, never mind about the parking. Let's come back to the hospitals and the treatment and everything else. So the facilities, awesome from what I can see, right? I'm going to come on to what I've had done so far and the facilities as well, but the medical team is great. It all feels modern. It feels clean, right? And all of this is being provided by Gessi. It's better than the private hospitals that I've been in the past. ISIS is a private hospital. This hospital is through Gessi. And for those of you who don't know what Gessi is the Cypriot National Health. It's like the NHS in the UK, and it's provided by Gessi, right? I am so lucky to be here in Cyprus and be able to use Gessi like I am doing, like I'd use the NHS back home, because honestly, it's phenomenal. It's like night and day compared to the NHS. And so this isn't like private medical tourism. This is just what's available for people on the island, right? So I appreciate no healthcare system is going to be great. And if you speak to people about Gessi, there's going to be people that don't like it. There's going to be people that have had issues with Gessi, I'm sure. There is always somebody who's had a bad experience of something, right? Arguably, my first surgeon that I spoke about in my earlier videos, so back in November, they should have diagnosed this quicker, right? They should have picked this up. But instead, he told me, an ENT specialist told me, you don't look like a cancer patient. What does that even mean? You don't look like a cancer patient. You're saying I'm fat. Like, what does that mean? But anyway, that's what they told me. So that said, all of that said, I'm comfortable, I'm confident, and the healthcare here, like I've had people ask me, should you come back to the UK, get treatment? Like, why? Probably die in the UK. That's the way it feels. If I came back to the UK now, I'd be on a waiting list. I'd be on referrals. Right? So, yeah. If you're worried about the healthcare in Cyprus, so far, my experience, even now with serious stuff, let alone the non-serious stuff, it is awesome. So, what about my journey then? What has happened? What's going on? I want to talk to you through this because I just want you to get an idea for how quickly things have moved out here when I've re-engaged with the medical services. So about April time, this started showing through, right? This started showing through, and I started thinking, maybe I should get this checked out. It was about April time, something like that. And so in May, I re-engaged with the hospital services. I think it was May, around about May. And then at that time, I got pulled in for an FNA biopsy. And that's where they stick a needle into the tumor. And well, I didn't know it was a tumor at the time, but they stick a needle in and they go, draw out some of the, like, I don't know, what do you call it? You can tell I don't work in the medical profession. They draw out some tissue and they send it away for sampling. Came back inconclusive. So then I was told that I needed to undergo an open biopsy under general anesthetic, and that would then confirm whether or not it was malignant. So I said, okay, cool. They're going to let me know when the appointment is. But it was actually on the Friday while I was in the UK that they called me to tell me that the biopsy was inconclusive. So they said, we need to do an open biopsy, but are you available tomorrow? And I was in the UK at this point. It's Friday. And they said, are you available tomorrow to come in? I was like, no, I'm in the UK, but I wanted to try and get back, but I couldn't. And he said, okay. And I said, what about the following Saturday? Right? It's amazing how much work goes on Saturdays out here. He says, no, I'm away next Saturday. Okay, fine. He says, so what we can do, we can book it in for the end of July. I was like, okay, well, let's just do that then. At the time, it didn't really feel like it was that urgent because I'd already been told in November it wasn't cancer. He'd seen me previously, said, I don't look like a cancer patient. The ENT guy said, I don't look like a cancer patient. And so I was just like, well, all right, we'll just go with it. We'll roll with it and see what happens. So anyway, I said, fine, we'll do it at the end of the month. And that's pretty much what happened. Now, about a week and a half ago, I started getting paralysis in my face. And just to show you what that looks like, if I look surprised, somebody says something to me now and I look surprised and I go, like, you raise your eyebrows, like, I can't raise this eyebrow. It's totally paralyzed, right? If I screw my face up, I can't close that eye properly anymore. It doesn't close. Like, I can't even, if I'm trying to, I can close that eye. I can't close that eye, right? So this side of my face here is paralyzed at the moment. I've got loss of sensation down this side of my face. And so I called the doctor up. I called the surgeon's office up. This is like the week after I got back, or but like I say, a week and a half ago, whenever it was now. And I was told the doctor's not in the office. The administrator, so this was a receptionist I spoke to, she said, the doctor's administrator, she's not in until Monday. Can I call back then? And I said, well, I'd rather not. I said, I've got an appointment for the end of the month, but I told her about these new symptoms and she was like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that is serious, isn't it? Well, better speak to the doctor then. I'm like, okay, cool. So she gave me his number. And when I say gave me his number, I mean his mobile number. Now, what doctor in the UK, what surgeon, what receptionist would give you the surgeon's mobile number, right? But this is just how it seems to work out here. So I called him. I called him up and he didn't answer. So I sent him a text, said, hey, it's Mark. You may remember me. Told him the story just as a reminder. I figured he deals with lots of people. And he called me back within 20 minutes of the text and said, I'm really sorry for the delay. I'm away in Germany. I was like, oh, well then why are you calling me? He says, I saw your text, so I wanted to call. So I was like, okay, thank you very much. Now, he said that he wasn't going to be back for over a week, but when I told him the symptoms, he goes, okay, we've got to get this out your neck. I was like, bugger. Okay, that's starting to sound more serious now. So he said, I can put you in touch with somebody in Limassol, or you can wait for me. And he said, the guy in Limassol is really good. We can get you in there early next week and we can get this moving, or we can wait till I get back. And it was going to be like a week or so's delay. And I said, well, okay, let's just get it done. Put me in touch with the guy in Limassol. So he did. He made the calls for me. So this is the surgeon. This is a private surgeon, by the way. This is a private surgeon who isn't through Gessi. You'd have to pay for. Then making phone calls to a Gessi surgeon. This is the guy that I'm just talking about in Limassol now. And so then his office calls me up on Monday to say, can you come down on Tuesday and have an appointment? So I did. I went down on Tuesday. Now, at this point, I met the doctor, and I've gone down on my own at this point. Met the doctor, and I reckon he should make a YouTube channel called Cancer Unfiltered, because, like, he did an inspection. He looked at it, and he pauses, and he goes, looking at me for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And you could tell that he didn't want to tell me what he was about to say. And he drew a breath, and then he said, there is no way on this planet that is not cancer. I was like, oh, like, talk about being slapped in the face. Like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that this morning. And he said that he said, there's a very good chance, based on what I've described and based on the symptoms that I told him, that it was going to be a rare type of cancer called ACC. It's not really called ACC. I've abbreviated it to that because I can't pronounce the long name that it is. But anyway, abbreviated to ACC. Now, he said in order to confirm that, we would have to do another biopsy, and that would confirm it 100%. But then he starts laying it on even thicker, and he goes, look, if it is this ACC, then it's bad news. I mean, he already told me that it's bad. He looked at my neck and he goes, Mark, it's bad. And I don't want to hear that from a doctor. I mean, I do. I want it to be not sugar-coated. But when you're on the receiving end of it, I realized perhaps I didn't quite want to hear it the way he put it. So anyway, he says if it is ACC, he treats around 4 head and neck cancer patients every week. And he's only treated 2 people with ACC in the last 6 months. But he said it's rare. And the 2 people that he treated one of them was a woman in her 30s. She's doing well. Another one was a guy in his 50s. Not so much. So then he told me I had a 50-50 chance. I was like, bugger. And he started breaking the treatment down and then what it's going to look like. And I'll come on to what it's going to look like a little bit later on. But I asked him, I said, okay, it's 50-50. What if it goes wrong? What if it goes the wrong way? To which he then told me, you're going to palliative care. I was like, what? Like, huh? Honestly, so I'm sitting there going, well, this is just like not what I was expecting. And I could feel myself welling up. I got tears in my eyes at this point because I'm thinking like my boy and my wife. And he goes, but either way, he says, whether it is ACC or isn't ACC, your life's going to go on hold for the next 6 to 9 months. And then he apologizes to me and he's like, I'm really sorry to have to tell you this. I know it's hard, hearing what you're hearing. What are you thinking? I was like, what do you think I'm thinking? No. He goes, he asked me what I'm thinking. And so anyway, so I told him I was thinking about my wife and my boy and everything else. But anyway, I came away from that interaction and I started researching. And I started researching that, okay, if it is ACC and I survived the initial ARP and all of that, then what's the 5-year life expectancy? And the 5-year life expectancy is sort of 60 to 85%. And then if you go on to 10 to 15 years, that's around 50%. I was like, huh. Now, I know that in 15 years' time, the tools that are used to fight cancer in 15 years, they're going to be the tools of tomorrow, not the tools of today. But honestly, like all I could think about at that point was just like, I'm not going to be a granddad. And I was sitting there thinking about that and I was like, oh, no, I'm going to be a granddad. And, could feel myself welling up. And he kind of told me to go outside, just have a coffee and whatever. And anyway, so I did. I went outside, I broke down and ended up coming back later on. But at the end of the session, he gives me his card. And he told me, he says, look, I am your surgeon through all of this, but I'm also your friend. Call me anytime. Doesn't matter. Call me anytime. If you've got any questions, ring me. If you just want to talk, ring me. If you just want an ear to listen, ring me. Now, what surgeon in the UK would offer that level of service, right? I've got his card. What surgeon in the UK would give that level of service to go, just call me anytime. Want to make sure you're comfortable. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a part of me that thinks, does he do that with everybody? Or does he do that with people that are, I don't know, on the way out? Because that's how I thought. I was like, there's always two sides to every story, right? And, I was looking at it going, it's either a good thing or could it be a bad thing? Don't know. But anyway, so that was last Tuesday, literally not even a week ago. On Wednesday, he'd set an appointment up for me and I have to go in for an ultrasound. So I go in for this ultrasound biopsy where they do basically the same thing if you're pregnant and they get the ultrasound and they can see your stomach and everything else. Well, they put the ultrasound on my neck. And then what they did is they have this guided biopsy where they use the ultrasound to then put a guide in and they take out deeper biopsies from the actual, from the tumor itself. Now, this that you see here, unfortunately, that isn't the tumor, that isn't the cancer, that's just the outside of it. If you think, and this is the example I've been using, if you think like squishy toys that kids have and they're in a ball and you squeeze it and then a bit pops out, well, that's the bit that's popped out. So the actual tumor is like deep inside and behind my jaw. Like bugger. So anyway, so they did the ultrasound, they had to stick a needle right in there to get several samples. And then I'm sitting there at the end of it, he's taking the samples out and he's showing me, and I was holding this thing, and he's showing me, I'm like, ah, look at that. There's a little bit of cancer just there. It's just like, it's the most surreal thing. So I'm looking at it going, this is weird, but at the same time, having lots of questions. Now, once I'd done that, I also had a CT scan as well. And what the CT scan was for was to check that it hadn't spread into my lungs and it hasn't spread into the bone, like the jaw or anything. And so I did that, and he said I'd get the results on Thursday. Now, the way it works in Cyprus, I don't know if this is the same in the UK, but the way it works in Cyprus is that if a doctor makes a call, and so this doctor says, I think it's X, and I think we need to do YZ to solve X. Well, he doesn't just get to make that call. It goes to a panel of other doctors and surgeons. So there's a team of specialists that sit down and discuss little old me. And they had a meeting at 3:00 on Thursday to discuss that, to discuss me. I get a call about 25 past 3. Once they've all discussed it, looked at the ultrasounds, looked at the CT scan and looked at what they needed to do and agreed a way forward, they said, got some good news. It hasn't spread to your lungs and it hasn't spread to your bone. Sweet. So it's good news. It's good news if if this is like the pooey end of the spectrum. If this is good and this is crap, well, down the crap end, I've got the good news of the crap end. So anyway, I was quite happy with that. But the difference between like literally the Wednesday and the Thursday, it was probably the longest 24 hours I've had in my life because I just wanted to know at that point if it had spread. And I didn't know. And for any of you that's ever been through this, not knowing is horrific. Now, I don't know how long this takes in the UK. So I was pretty happy with 24 hours out here, despite the fact that those 24 hours were crazy hard. Like me and my wife were talking and we were just kind of panicking and I couldn't concentrate. And, so anyway, it was quick. It was within 24 hours that I'm now getting the call back. So when I got that call, he also said that he's going to send me for a PET scan, a PET scan. And that's what I'm going to have this coming week. And he wanted to check that it hasn't spread anywhere else in my body. Now he says he's 99% sure that it won't have done because typically the way the cancer works in the neck is that it always goes downstream. It never goes up to the brain. And therefore it goes to the lymph nodes first, and then it would go into the lungs. So he said, because it's not in the lungs, there is a slim to no chance that it's gone anywhere else. But for belt and braces, he wants to do a PET scan. So I'm welcoming that with open arms. Now, he's also told me on the Thursday that he expedited the biopsy. So they told me it was going to take 10 days from the Wednesday. So I'm expecting maybe later on this week, or if it's working days, maybe the week after that, right? Probably middle of 2 weeks' time. But he expedited it. And so he said, you're going to get the results on Friday, 2 days after the biopsy. Like, bloody hell, that's great. You can't even get blood results that quick in the UK, let alone biopsy results. So anyway, so he calls me back on Friday. This is 2 days ago now. And he confirms that it isn't ACC. I was like, well, that's amazing then. That's more good news at the lower end of the shit scale, right? So it was like, cool, 2 bits of good news, 2 days. Very happy. So what they are now doing is they are going to confirm, should be tomorrow, exactly what type of cancer it is. Now, it will likely be more aggressive than the ACC. More aggressive isn't necessarily bad in this case because the life expectancy with ACC, because it is so hard to get rid of, is the worst one. Because even though something can be more aggressive, you can cut it out, kill it with radiotherapy, and you're done, or at least for the most part. But with ACC, you can have things hiding in the nerves, which is why he thought it was ACC to start with. Because I've got this numbness, because I've got this paralysis, he thought it was attacking being inside the nerves. And so that's why he thought. Now, I don't know right now, and I probably won't know till the operation, whether or not it is in the nerves or whether it's just pressing on the nerves. We'll find that out. But tomorrow, I should find out exactly what type of cancer it is. I'll have the PET scan this week. And then what happens is in around 8 days' time, I've been told I'm going in for major surgery. Now, he told me it was major surgery on the Tuesday when we met, when he was explaining that it's bad. I don't know how much details to go into right now, but basically, it's going to end up with me being in ICU, so intensive care. I'm going to be in intensive care for 2 days, and then I'm going to be in hospital for a further 10 days. The procedure, in fact, I will tell you, the procedure, there might be kids watching, so I won't go into too much detail. The procedure is they're going to literally cut down here, going to cut my jaw, going to open my jaw up, going to get into the back of the jaw, cut the tumor out, put a metal, well, there'll be a metal plate in there somehow, they stitch me all back up. Now, hopefully, they don't need to cut my facial nerve, because if they do, then that'll be paralyzed. And they will need to take a graft of nerve from my leg. And apparently they can do that because they're really clever people, right? So who knew? They can take a bit of nerve out my leg, put it in my cheek or my neck, and then it will graft hopefully in about 6 months' time, and then the feeling comes back. If they need to cut it. If it's just pressed against it, which now then I'm kind of hoping that it's just pressed against it, then might be right. Might just remove the tumor and it's good. But don't know. Won't know that yet. But once they do all that, then I'm going to wake up in hospital and I'm going to be being fed through the nose. I'm going to have breathing apparatus coming through my neck, and it's just all going to be a little bit horrific. Now, what I would say is with this jaw split, here's a top tip for you. Anybody about to go through this, don't Google it. I did. I'm freaking, it's one of these things you wish you could unsee. And I've kind of stopped Googling things now because I'm just looking at it going, this is horrific. And I know the scars I'm going to have. And I'm just like, oh, this is not going to be good. So anyway, then I'm going to come home. Once I've done all of that, I'll come out of hospital 10 days time. I'm going to come home. I'm going to be resting a couple of weeks, and then radiotherapy will start. I've never had radiotherapy. I've heard it's not very nice. But that's going to last for about 12 weeks. I'm going to be carrying on with that. And so the recovery is expected to take months rather than days. Like literally, the way the first surgeon explained it, he says, if it's not cancer, we'll go cut the tumor out, done. You'll be done. That'll be the end of it. So anyway, it's not going to be that. It's going to be literally months. Like the surgeons told me, I'm going to be, my life will be on hold for 6 to 9 months. They've also said I'm probably not going to be able to speak properly because initially I'm going to have a pipe in my neck as for breathing, because all of this is going to swell up. So I'm not going to be able to speak properly. And then not only that, but when the speech returns, it's going to be quite hoarse and everything else. And so I don't know what that's going to look like. I literally have no idea what that's going to look like. I'll tell you as I go through it, and I can tell you about the treatment that I'm getting and all of that stuff. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know if I can report back anything from meaning that can't even speak now, let alone after the operation. I don't know if I'm going to have anything meaningful to report, because I'm not just going to report on my health. Like, that's going to be really boring for people to watch. But if something happens in the hospital, if something happens with respect to procedures or aftercare or anything like that, I'll start reporting it, because then you guys get to see exactly what happens in Cyprus if you are having serious operations, So I'm going to start documenting what post-op cancer treatment is actually like out here on the island, right? Some parts probably going to remain private, because after all, it's Cyprus Unfiltered, it's not Mark Unfiltered. So there's going to be things that I don't tell you guys if it's private to me, right? I'm telling you this stuff. I mean, this is all visible. 6 months from now, I'm going to have an awesome scar down here. I can't really hide that. So I don't mind talking about it, right? It is what it is. I can't deal with it. No, I can't deal with it. I can't change it. I'll just deal with it. I'll just roll with the punches. So that's pretty much that. Now, what's going to happen to Cyprus Unfiltered going forward as a result of all of this? Well, what I want to say is, first of all, it's not ending. It's not ending, but it's going to have to slow down temporarily. And I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, because I'm not likely to be able to speak for the first 10 days. I'm not going to be able to actually speak. They've told, I'm hearing things, I'm reading things online, I'm Googling it and all. And for the first 10 days, I'm probably going to be using a whiteboard or a tablet to actually write things down and speak. So unless I do one of those, remember those viral social media posts that used to go around where the guys are holding the board and they just turn down a word each time? Maybe I could do that. But otherwise, I'm not going to be able to speak. I'm not going to be able to actually do videos for you guys, which sucks. And even pre-recording videos, if I go against the grain of what Cyprus Unfiltered is about with the live Q&A, I'm not really going to be able to pre-record anything, because I ain't going to be able to talk. I'm going to be in bed and I don't know how much energy I'm going to have. So I will post updates when I can. I will do lives when I can. And the lives that do come next, well, actually not next week I'm still here, but then the week after that I won't be. The lives that do come next, they're going to be shorter. I'm probably not going to have the energy that I have right now. So the format might need to change, because I might end up doing in the interim, so that you've actually got something to listen to, or not listen to, but say you actually got something to digest. My updates might be Cyprus Unfiltered posts. I might be writing stuff, because apparently I'm going to be able to type within about 5 or 6 days. So I'll probably start typing when I come out of hospital. But I'll be able to type some updates so I can put some posts on, but I won't be able to necessarily do videos. So when I can speak again, I'll come back and I'll do live Q&As for sure. They just might be shorter. And also, the topics might not be quite as heavily researched to start with, because I'm just not necessarily going to have the energy, which is a shame. I'm gutted. I can't promise a timetable. I don't know how long it's going to take. I do not know how long recovery is going to take. So I will get back as soon as I can get back, because I enjoy this. I love doing this. I love sitting here talking to you guys. I love answering questions. I love trying to help as many people as I can. So, I will get back as soon as I can get back. And it does matter to me, this channel, but I've got to prioritize my health, which is why, I'm going off air for a bit. Now, the meetups is another thing. We've done 2 of them so far. I felt like it was just starting to get into a nice sort of degree of motion. So with that said, the meetup's still going to go ahead, right? A week on Sunday, I think it is. So 2 weeks yesterday, a week on Saturday, 2 weeks yesterday, we are looking to go ahead. So it'll be the first Saturday of August. And we are going to change the venue. Like I said, I was going to do in the last meetup, we're going to look to go to the Cliff Social Bar. So this week, before I go into hospital, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to get a table booked and I'm going to get that all sorted so that we can carry on meeting. But it's going to be you, not me. Asha, my wife, she's going to turn up. She's going to come down a week on Sunday, or whenever it is, the first Saturday of August. She'll come down, she'll see you guys. And I've joked, but if I can, I will. Maybe she'll call me and we can do a WhatsApp call and you'll just see me and I'll just go, and that'll be it. I won't be able to be there in person, but I'll be there in spirit. So I want the community to carry on. I want the meetup to carry on, because the thing is, it isn't about me. It's about us. It's about you. Like, yes, I started it going, but it's for you guys. You guys can meet up, so whether I'm there or not, we'll get it going and you guys meet up and you can chat and have a laugh and all the rest of it. And then hopefully the first Saturday of September, I'll come back. And, if I'm licking my wounds and I'm drinking a glass of water, then I'll be drinking a glass of water. It's fine, So if you can still come, please do. Because like I say, you guys get to meet, you guys get to mingle. In the last meetup that we did, it was really nice to see people exchanging phone numbers. You guys getting to meet each other, making new friends on the island. That's what it's about. So come and do it anyway. It doesn't matter if I'm not there. Just come and do it. Right? I'll be there next time. Right? So I said I wanted to leave you with a bigger thought, though. I want to give you something to think about, because nobody really knows how much time they've got left. I could literally die next week on the operating table, or I could die 40 years from now, cancer-free. I could die right now doing this live stream with a heart attack, right? The point is, tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. In the space of 11 years, I lost pretty much everybody in my immediate family. And so I know all too well that the biggest mistake people make is that they believe they have time. So let me ask you something. Who would you call if you knew you didn't have long left? Right? What would you tell them? Who would you regret not speaking to if somebody in your life was suddenly gone? What would you wish you'd done? And if somebody important to you died tomorrow, what would you regret leaving unsaid? Just think about that for a second. And let me ask you something else. Why wait until somebody's ill? Why wait until there's a diagnosis? Or why wait until you're sitting at somebody's funeral wishing you'd made the call? Stop pretending like you have time, right? Make the call, visit the person, apologize if you need to, forgive where you can, spend the time with the people who matter. Stop assuming that there's always going to be another opportunity, because there might not be. I don't know exactly what the future holds. I don't know what the next few months are going to look like, but I do know that it's going to be difficult. I know that life's going to change for a while. And I know that this is going to be a 6 to 12 month journey for me to get over this, right? But I also know that I'm surrounded by decent people, right? I've got confidence in the medical team here in Cyprus, and I'm going to take this one step at a time, right? So all I can do is just put one foot in front of the other. The biggest thing that this is reminding me of is that tomorrow just isn't promised to any of us. So if there is somebody you need to call them. If there's something you need to say it. And if there's somebody you love, just make sure they know. That's it, guys. I'm done. I'm going to move on to live Q&A. I'm going to have a break. I'm going to have a drink. And I'm going to come on to the chat in just a second, okay? Okay, right. So look, I'm getting a bit deep there at the end, wasn't it? But anyway, look, when I was moving to Cyprus, there wasn't really anybody showing what life was really like, at least not like this. And so I do keep trying to document it now for everybody else. So look, my only ask is, if you are finding this useful and you think somebody else would benefit from hearing it, you think somebody might be worried about medical care out in Cyprus, well, just give it a share, send it to them. Maybe it'll help them. Maybe it'll give them a bit of reassurance that what they're moving out to is not a third world country, because it just isn't. And look, I'm trying to help as many people as possible by sharing this. So say if you're getting some benefit out of it, give it a like. And if you're not subscribed already, then just give it a subscribe. Okay, so we are going to go on to the Q&A. And also, I've just noticed, I didn't notice that sooner, my lamp is in. There we go. Just a little, I just saw it, move to the left. There we go. Anyway, let's move on to the live Q&A. There seems to be a lot of people online. We've got 47 people online at the moment. Let's see what we've got. So Martin, hi Mark, we are listening to you from the car on our way back home from Bristol. Wow, am I in the radio? That's cool. I'm assuming you've got YouTube loaded up somewhere. That's cool. Railway History UK. Stephen, evening Mark, back in the UK tonight, having left Tyler at 4 a.m. this morning. Stephen Tracy. Oh no. Well, welcome back to the UK, maybe. Is it raining? Hopefully it's not. I think people are still complaining it's too warm. I think people are saying it's like 25 degrees or something. It's nice here. It's 26 right now, 20 to 10 at night. Anyway, I hope you got back okay. Ferry and Monica, good evening from sunny UK. Good evening, Ferry. Good evening, Monica. And Oliver, if you're watching. Ella Brown, sorry to hear the news. Yeah, me too, but thanks. The real Betty Swallocks, sorry to hear this, Mark. Fight it hard and win. I fully intend to, because one of the things the doctor said to me when he said it was 50-50, he says, some people choose not to fight it. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, some people just choose to take no treatment. Now, that didn't even enter my head. It hasn't entered my head. Like the next 6 months are going to be horrible. Probably the hardest 6 months of my life, both physically and psychologically, and I'm not going to be able to talk. And you guys know how much I love talking. I'm going to be in hell. I'm going to be trapped in my own head. I'm not going to be able to talk to anyone. I have to write it, But anyway, the point is, it's never once occurred to me to not fight this. I was talking to my son on Friday night, and we explained to my son what was happening. And, it was very clear. It's like, if I don't fight this, I'll die. End of. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but, it'll happen. So I have to fight it. Lee Clark, mate, gutted to hear this. Maybe it's fate, you being here, and they caught it quick. I tell you what, Lee, I've thought exactly the same. I thought exactly the same, because you look at how the stars align sometimes. Let's talk about stars aligning. I was going to do so. Tonight's episode was supposed to be about the stars and stuff here in Cyprus, because we went to see the Milky Way on Tuesday night. But anyway, then that happened. So a week ago, I'd planned to do about stargazing here in Cyprus, and that's all gone out the window and talk about cancer instead. Much more entertaining. But yeah, I mean, I think the same, Lee. I think, you know what? I count my blessings that I'm here. I think if I was in the UK, maybe I wouldn't have been seen. Maybe I'd still be on a waiting list. Who knows? Who knows, So I am very grateful to be here. Absolutely. I've got to make some lifestyle changes. We're going to be changing quite a few things. I'm not going to be able to work for 6-9 months. So we've got to change a lot of things, but it is what it is. I'm grateful to be here rather than the UK. So Ella Brown, there is no podcast like yours. You're unique. I think they will look after you well in Cyprus. Thanks, Ella. Thank you very much. And I'm feeling looked after. I've got to be honest. I know I've said this tonight. I am feeling looked after, and can't really say any clearer than that. I'll repeat what I said in the video, which is, if people are fearful about coming to Cyprus and people are wondering what the healthcare is like, I mean, yes, I'm lucky because I'm in Gessi. But, if you had medical insurance, the doctors that you've got access to on the island, this guy that I'm going to be seeing, he's world class. He is the guy that people learn from. Now, he was in England. He's now left. He's come to Cyprus. So, talk about, Lee, the luck of the draw. Absolutely. Like I've kind of struck gold when it comes to having doctors treating this. So, if it's going to be successful, I feel like I'm in the right place, got the right doctors, the right hospital. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be well looked after in Cyprus, Ella. The real Betty Swallocks, different field, but my father-in-law had a major in heart surgery in Cyprus, and his surgery and treatment were world class. Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that, because I've not actually spoken to other people that have had treatment here on the island. I'm just seeing it firsthand. Like I say, I'll keep documenting it for you guys, and then hopefully you guys never have to go through it, and hopefully this video doesn't get many clicks, because The people that are likely to click this video going forward are the ones that probably have got cancer or have had it or have had somebody affected by cancer close to them. So hopefully this is like the least subscribed video out of all my videos, because then it means that you're all well. Carbon Unit 68. Sorry to hear that, Mark. Thank you for being so generous to find time to have a chat with us earlier this week. Best wishes for a positive outcome. Phil and Amy. Yeah, no problem at all. And it was great to meet you guys. So yeah, it was good to meet you in person. And I've had a few messages, people wanting to meet up, and I'm not going to be able to do any meets for a while, you know. But it was lovely to meet you, Phil. Lovely to meet you, Amy. And appreciate you guys dialing in tonight. So thanks very much. Hopefully you got back to the UK okay. UK okay. The real Betty Swallows. No comparison between the best hospitals in Cyprus and the decrepit NHS. Only the very, very top UK hospitals are equivalent, especially to the German Institute in Limassol. It's interesting because I know the UK has quite a good reputation for cancer treatment. You're talking about the German Institute in Limassol. Have you had experience with that? Is that where your family were? Or I'm just interested because I don't know anybody that's been. I'm just, I've feel like I've landed on my feet for a change, and I feel like I've landed in the right place, all by potluck. So if it's good and the Google reviews are good, then I'd like to hear about it. Craig, I'm recovering from, oh God, I can't pronounce this. I can't pronounce medical terms. Right, let me try. Not to lighten the fact of what you're recovering from, but let me try and pronounce it. I'm recovering from, esophageal. Okay, sorry, right, I can read it. Just esophageal cancer, and I was treated in the UK, Sheffield. I was looked after during the chemo, then 9 hours surgery, fantastically well. The challenge doesn't end post-treatment. Well, I'm glad you were looked after, Craig. I think that's banging my desk. I'm glad you looked after Craig, and that sounds awesome. And yours might be more serious than mine. You know, if you've done that and then you've had chemo as well. I mean, you know, not that we're playing top trumps here, but it might be that you've had a really bad cancer. And I think you're right. I think the challenge is going to be post-treatment. Like in a month from now, you know, it's going to be psychological. You know, yes, I'm going to be healing. All the stitches in my mouth and my neck and everywhere is going to be healing. And then it just becomes a psychological battle, I think. Don't know. Never been through it. So we'll see. But yeah, I can only imagine. Well, I'm glad you're recovering. That's good. Craig, so check the aftercare mental support out there. Yeah, well, I know that side of things is good. We won't go down the Mark Uncovered or the Mark Unfiltered bit tonight, but I know that side of things is good. And the mental support, the psychological support, all of that is good out here from what I've seen, experienced some of it. Won't go into too much detail, but yeah, I've seen it and it's good. I mean, actually, on that fact, I will tell you a little bit of something about me because this didn't happen. That makes it sound like I'm making it up. No, I got tested about, I don't know, 7, 8 months ago for ADHD. Right? I got tested for it. I had some other questions that were going on, but I actually got tested for ADHD. Now in the UK, lots of people get labeled ADHD, and it feels like it's the new thing that if you can't concentrate for a little bit, you're ADHD. So anyway, I went through a proper psychological test out here, answered all the questions and surveys. And then you have a follow-up with the ADHD psychologist. Turns out I don't have ADHD, which is fine. I kind of didn't think I did, but anyway, I don't. That was ruled out. That's cool. But I spoke to somebody in the UK who deals with ADHD and is an ADHD specialist themselves. Now, granted, the examination probably wasn't like for like, but here's another example of Cyprus healthcare versus UK healthcare. So they would charge as a private consultation around about £1,300, like £1,300. And that would give you access to a bunch of surveys and a follow-up consultation. And they did some other stuff as well. So when I had to do mine, my assessment cost here in Cyprus with who I was told was the best ADHD specialist in Paphos for all of the surveys, the questionnaires and everything else, and a follow-up appointment for an hour cost me €90. Not £1,300, €90. So that side of things out here as well, like, therapy, all of that stuff, it's more accessible, it's cheaper. And, I don't know what it's like in the UK privately, but I hear it's expensive. And I hear certainly if you wanted to do anything on the NHS, waiting lists are long. So there we go. Craig, good luck and stay strong. Thanks, Craig. Much appreciated. I fully intend to, but intent is one thing and action is the other, isn't it? Craig again. So treatment was fantastic, but hang on a minute. What did I miss one? No, treatment was fantastic with the aftercare. So the treatment was fantastic, but the aftercare is poor in the UK. Well, that is interesting because, like I say, my intention is to talk about the aftercare. I might not do it weekly because that's just going to become really boring for you guys. It's going to be like, Cyprus Healthcare Unfiltered or something, which could be a subset of the channel, but, Cyprus Unfiltered will remain. I will give a collection of updates in a single video when I think I've got enough content to actually talk about. So I will document what's going to happen over the next 3 to 6 months. Like I say, maybe you'll hear about it in 6 months' time. Maybe I'll give you an update in 3 months' time. I don't know. I'll just document it so I feel like I've got enough to talk about, and then I can present it back and play it back to you guys, and hopefully give you guys an insight as to what aftercare cancer treatment looks like. Who knows? If I'm here, if I'm not here, then my wife can talk to you about Cypriot burials and everything else, or whatever, cremations. She probably won't do that. Hopefully not. Got to stay positive, right? Laugh or cry. So I'm going to choose to laugh. Ella Brown, I've been waiting 2 months for private consultation for private consultation in the UK. Demand is so high now. Holy crap! What's that for, Ella? Is that for cancer or is that for something else? Is it? I'm intrigued. What's that for? The Blue Haze Moto, watching from the airport departure lounge. Sounds like you're defo in the right place, Mark. See you in September. Good luck. Nice one. Thanks very much. And safe travels back. I don't know if you're still watching this, but safe travels back, yeah? And thanks very much again for the comment. Thanks for dialing in as well from the airport of all places. Now that is dedication, isn't it? Dialing in from the airport. We've got Martin and Sandra dialing in from the car, and we've got you dialing in from the airport. My username is Jeff. Good evening, Mark. So sorry to hear about your diagnosis. Best of luck for months ahead. You're a fighter. Jeff and Sharon. Cheers, Jeff. Cheers, Sharon. I appreciate that. And thank you. Craig, 4 weeks. Craig, horrific. What did I say? What did I ask? I don't know what I asked. 4 weeks, horrific. Might need to clarify that, Craig. I can't remember what it was in relation to. Sorry. Premium 2477. Hi, Mark. Best of luck. You got this. Thank you very much. I hope so. I hope so, and I appreciate that. Let's hope so. The real Betty Swallows. I've been a silent viewer until now, but Mark, we don't just watch the channel of Cyprus Unfiltered. We also watch for you as a person. Oh, that's really kind. And let me finish. So feel free to report on how you're doing. We are here. Oh, that is. They're super kind, and I still struggle with that. I'm not going to lie. Like, I started this channel, and I've talked about this now a few times now, but I started this channel, last October, just to start talking about life in Cyprus. And I kind of hoped it would help somebody. Didn't know how many people, maybe 1 or 2 people it would help. And I was just doing it as a creative outlet for me. The fact that people are actually getting entertainment value out of it, the fact that people are learning from it, the fact that people keep wanting to come back, and you've got comments like that in there, I'm really blown away by it. So thank you. And I don't know what else to say other than thank you, because to a certain extent, I don't get it. I don't really, I'm just a guy on the internet, and I don't know, just trying to help people. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm not going to belittle it. Thank you very much. I will say thank you, and I'm going to move on because I'm going to struggle with compliments. So let's just move on. Philip Shaw. Hi, Mark. Thanks for your openness on your diagnosis. Good luck for the next steps. Cyprus is better care than the UK for healthcare. Best wishes, Phil. Thanks, Phil. And I agree. And thanks very much for the best wishes. Christina Chadwick. Hi, Mark. Sorry to hear your news. All the best for the coming days and future. Yeah, cheers, Christina. Thank you very much. I'm staying positive. Let's just leave it at that. I'm staying positive. I'm not Googling anymore because Google sucks. Craig, great shout, pal. I don't know what I said. 4 weeks, horrific. Great shout, pal. What did I say? I don't know. Craig, you're going to have to remind me. I don't know what I said. Or maybe you're not even talking to me. Mark, we are so relieved to hear about your surgeon being so well regarded in his field of expertise. Yeah, me too, Martin. Like I say, when he told me that he treat 85% of the head and neck cancer specialists, cancer patients on the island, there was a part of me that was relieved, and there was a part of me that like, is he the only guy? But maybe there's him and the other guy that does 15%. So I did start doing my research on him, and I just seems to have hit the jackpot. So fingers crossed, he is as good as what the research shows. And yeah, all I was going to do is hope now. I'm going to be in their hands, right? Nothing I can do about it. So fingers crossed. Mike, evening, Mike, evening, Joanne. If you're watching, I'm really sorry to hear the news, but I know you're strong and hopefully you'll pull through this and enjoy a full and happy future. Joe and I wish you all the best. And really, thank you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Mike. At this point in time, I feel like I'm going to be all right. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to say. It's weird to say, but I do feel like I'm going to be all right. I'm trying to stay positive with it all. And of course, there's moments, there's moments when I start doubting things, start thinking about the surgery, and I'm not looking forward to that one bit. I think it's probably, I don't get scared of many things in life. Like I'm not scared of many things ever, really. But I'm not at ease right now. There is a high level a high level of anxiety in me right now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. All I can do is positive thinking, right? Hope for the best, but I am preparing for the worst. I'm not going to lie. I'm preparing for things to go a little bit skew if, and we'll see what happens. Next week's video. This is going to sound really morbid. If I can get it done this week, because I haven't done it yet. For those of you interested in what next week's video is going to be on, it's going to be about creating wills in Cyprus, because I thought, bugger, better get that done just in case. I am staying positive, but like I say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to aim to get my will done this week. And if I can get it done inside of a week, then awesome. I will tell you about it next week. And if I can't, I might still tell you about it and tell you where it's up to. So anyway, there we go. Oh, loads of comments. Where do we get to? Martin, you're a fighter and we are praying for you. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Sandra. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Mike, hope you have every success in the coming weeks. Yeah, me too. Me too. The real Betty Swallows. All respect to Mark for coming out here and saying this. That takes serious bravery, and it's bravery who needs to win this fight. You've got this, mate. Thank you very much. That's really kind. So thank you. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, really, isn't there? I mean, I think I've not really met anybody with cancer before. Well, apart from, that's wrong. My mum had cancer, but apart from my mum, I don't really know people who have kind of gone through, survived cancer. In fact, I know one. Actually, that's a lie. I know one guy, but I didn't know him when he had cancer. I just knew him post cancer. Roman, if you're watching this, it's a shout out to you. So I knew him post cancer, but I've never seen anybody go through it, and I don't know what it's like to go through it. I've never been through it myself, and I've seen my mum go through it, but it was different. It was a different type of cancer that she had, and she had a brain tumor. Yes, she had surgery. Yes, but it was different to this, and it was in a different country. So I kind of figured, well, why not document it? Why not document it? And just if it helps somebody out, if it helps somebody feel more reassured, then why not? At the end of the day, what will happen will happen. If I'm here next month, I'm here next month, and if I'm not, I'm not. I can't change the outcome of it. But the probability says that I will be here next month. The probability says that I'll still be around, and that's all going to be good. And I'll then tell the other side of it. I'll tell what happens post treatment, because somebody might get some value from that. Somebody might see the other end, and you can't really tell the post treatment part without telling the pre treatment part. So, you are getting an element of Mark Unfiltered, to be fair, but I'm putting out there what I'm choosing to put out there, and I'm choosing to put it out there because I hope it'll help somebody. Maybe it'll help somebody, maybe it won't, but I hope it does. Where are we? Asha, Jacob wants to come and say hi. Okay, send him in. Look, Neil Al, hard but inspiring. Listen, your positive attitude will get you through this. Cheers. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for Neil. I'm gonna go for Neil. Yeah, good to have you on. You're a first-time commenter. I think I've not seen you in the comments before, so thanks, Neil. I appreciate it, and I try and stay positive. Thing is, I laugh and joke about it. I try and laugh and I try and joke. Interestingly, the recovery phase is going to be interesting because if, for instance, I am paralyzed down here and this just then doesn't work anymore, it means that this that I've got where I can't move this, I can't close that eye, doesn't close. If they can't fix that, and if it's not a trapped nerve, and if it's a dead nerve, and then if it doesn't grow back or anything else, then I'm going to spend just one second. I'm going to spend the rest of my days, every time I blink, like I'm winking at somebody, right? And I'm going to be walking down the street, I'm going to be blinking, and guys are going to be looking at me going, he's winking at me. Women are going to be like, he's winking at me. Kids are going to be like, he's winking at me. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to stop winking for the rest of my life. So anyway, I'm finding that quite funny. My son wants to come and say hi. So come and say hi. Are you in your pants? You didn't even put pajamas on. Right. Hello. Are you okay? Yeah. He's literally in his pants. You okay?
Yeah.
Are you watching from the other bedroom?
Yeah.
You're right, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Daddy's going to get through it, isn't he? Yeah. We told Jacob about this on Friday night and we had a few tears, didn't we? We had a few cuddles, but we're going to get through it because if we don't do it, then not going to be here. So I have to do it. And you're going to look after mummy, aren't you, over the next few weeks? And you're going to look after daddy as well.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to the people watching?
Like and share.
Like and share or like and subscribe. You rock. Cool. Right. You go back to bed, yeah?
Bye.
See you later. There you go. You heard it from him. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Right, let's go back to the comments where we got. Oh wow, blimey, coming. Where are they? They're jumping around, and there's quite a few. Blimey. Okay. James, wishing you all the very best. Stay strong, and I hope everything goes well. Cheers, James. Me too. Thanks very much. I don't recall seeing your username, so thanks very much for joining. If this is the first time commenting, anyway, so thank you. Lee, I'm sure I say this from all of us. You're a bloody star, an even better man. You do so much for us all. So if you or the family need anything, I know the group will be there for you, pal. Cheers, Lee. Even today, you helped me with my car wash recommendation, not knowing what was going on. Yeah, that's all right. Photo Poor UK. Best wishes with your health. You really didn't need this. Be strong and you'll get through this. Yeah, cheers. I hope so. Godall88, we're keeping our fingers crossed for you. Greetings from Poland. Godall88, cool. Well, hi, I think your first time commenter on here, although I can't see the picture. Is this Derek? Might be Derek, I'm not sure. Is Derek and Ola? Don't know. Anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting. Ferry and Monica, you are so strong, Mark. Thank you for your positive vibes. We are your family and we are with you. You're in the best place with the best people around. Would love to meet you as soon as we can in the winter. Cheers, Ferry. Cheers, Monica. That's really cool. Be good to see you guys and Oliver again as well when you come over. So that'd be awesome. Nuts in May 185. Mark, bloody hell, awful news. Sorry to hear. You've been such a help to us and so supportive. I really hope you can call on us if there is anything we can do to repay you. Wow. I mean, blimey, Keith. Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate it. I don't do this to get anything back. That's the thing, right? I'm not. That sounds really. I don't generally give to get, So I appreciate it, Keith. I appreciate it, Sarah. Just I do this because I want to do it, and I'm not doing it for anything in return. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the offer, like from Lee as well and everybody else. I just, I really do appreciate it. I didn't set out this channel in October to think I'll be sitting here right now talking to you about this. So it kind of means the world to me to hear it. And I do appreciate it. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, thank you. Thank you. Craig, to end in a positive, matey, I'm now cancer free and retired at 53 and just bought a property in Caprice as a second home. Life is short and fantastic, but bloody challenging. Fair play to you, Craig. Wow. I'm 10 years behind you and I'm nowhere near retired yet. But that's awesome. Fair play to you. That's great. And congratulations on being cancer free. We should get t-shirts. We'll get t-shirts that says FU cancer. Lee and Kelly, presumably. Hi, Lee. Hi, Kelly. Hope you're well. Bloody hell, Mark. Lost for words. Sorry to hear about this. Best of luck. Stay strong. Positive vibes have been sent your way. Looking forward to seeing you in October. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Kate. Kate speak. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I mean, October, I should be okay. Should be okay in October. I'm hoping to be okay by September because I want to come to my meetup, our meetup. So yeah, I hopefully will be back by then. The only thing is, October time, I'll be going through radiotherapy, so no idea what energy I'm going to have at that time. Apparently, I'm going to be sleeping a lot, which is good news for my wife. She tells me I should sleep more. Everybody I meet pretty much tells me I should sleep more. So yeah, I guess going to get their wish now. Alex, stunned by your news, Mark. You've done a special thing creating this community and helped everyone so much. Now it's our turn to support you, Asher and Jacob. Anything we can do. Wow. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Emma. Again, like with Keith, like with Lee, I'm blown away by it. I'm not expecting this story. I come on here once a Sunday night and deliver a bit of content and try and help people out. But I don't know. I'm not used to this in return somehow. I was supported by friends. I got friends in the UK wanting to rally around and fly out, and I don't know, blown away by it all, really. So thank you. I guess it's all I can say at the moment is thank you. Hopefully I don't need to call on anybody, and we'll just get through it, and we can all have a laugh and a drink about it in the future. I'm going to see you on the other side, and when I'm not drinking water and licking my wounds and drinking out of a sippy cup, then we can maybe have a beer or vodka or something. That'd be cool. I don't really drink, but I'll have one. Jonathan Ramsey, thinking of you and your family, Mark. Stay strong and lean on your friends in this community you've built. You've clearly got a lot of people in your corner. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm feeling that tonight, that's for sure. So thank you very much. Ella Brown, doctors tend to tell you the worst so you can prepare, but you may be surprised and encouraged when you realize how fast the body recovers from surgery, especially as you are young. Relatively wounded and fit. So yeah, I think that's true. Everything I've read, because I keep reading because I'm an idiot, says that the mouth everything's going to heal really quickly. That being said, I know when I had the first operation in November and it was just a part of my cheek cut open on the inside, I was just horrific. I just didn't want to move my mouth. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to eat. And I got stitches in my mouth that were catching on my tongue. And it was just horrific for about a month. This is going to be something else. It's going to be 10 times that. So I'm not looking forward to it. Like I say, I'm not scared of many things, but this one is definitely up there. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like. Jackie Mason, there we go. Right. Stay strong, Mark. Tony and I will be at the next meeting and support you, Asher and Jacob, in any way we can. That's cool. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Tony, as well. I don't know how long you've been watching this, but I was saying earlier on, so the next meeting will be a week on Saturday, first Saturday of August. At that point, assuming all goes well, then I'm going to be laying on my back in a hospital bed with tubes coming out my nose and my neck and everywhere else. And I might be able to say a few words at that point, but if not, I'll still be writing on a whiteboard or a tablet. So Asha has said that she's going to come along. She probably won't stay for long because here's the other thing. We've got friends arriving a week today. In fact, when I'm doing the live video next week, they'll be arriving, landing in Paphos Airport as I'm doing this video. So then they're going to arrive downstairs and I won't be doing a late one next week. I'll go down and see them because they were supposed to be here for the week on holiday and we were supposed to be doing a load of cool stuff. Well, I might see them Sunday night, maybe Monday morning, and then I could be in hospital for 10 days and not see them. So That's going to suck. But anyway, the point is that Asher will look to swing along, even if it's just for half an hour or so, the next meetup. But it would be really cool if you guys just did it anyway. I think, the whole point of this Cyprus Unfiltered meetup isn't for me, it's for you. It's for people coming to Cyprus that perhaps don't know anybody, want to meet some new friends, and they can just socialize, they can network. You guys see each other in the comments and you can chat to each other. I know you're chatting to me, but you're kind of answering each other's questions sometimes as well. So come and meet each other in person. I think it's great. So just because I'm not going to be there doesn't mean it shouldn't go ahead. I did think about this and think, well, maybe I'll just wait till I'm back. But no, because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about you. So, come down a week on Sunday, a week on Saturday. We're going to change location. I'm going to go down this week before I go into hospital and just get it all arranged at the Cliff Social, because I just think that's going to be a better venue going forward as the tourist season kicks in. It should be less crowded and it should be less hassle with tables needing to book and all of that. So it should be a little bit more free flowing. So I'm going to go down and speak to him this week anyway, see what I can get arranged for a regular meetup there. So if you're in Cyprus and you want to do the meetup, go to there. I'm going to put all the details out anyway. I'll put it out probably this week before I go into hospital, just so that people can see it. And that way you can all go meet each other and, have a chat, have a drink, have a coffee, have a beer, whatever. It's a lovely day, hopefully, because it's Saturday in Cyprus in the middle of July or August. So it can be fine. It'll be a nice day. So go make some new friends. Right. Mike, Joe and I are back in Paphos end of September. So if you guys want anything from the UK, let me know. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Joe. That's very kind. Okay, we'll let you know if we think of anything. For me, it'll probably be a plastic straw. And I can't even suck. I'm not allowed to suck because it'll pull the stitches out. So an ice lolly, can lick one of those. Right. There is no more comments and questions, but I've got a lot of energy left. Get me while you can, because in 2 weeks' time, I ain't going to be here. So I'm going to go to my like and share screen. I'm going to have a drink as well, but I will just say that if you are finding this useful in any way, shape, or form, then please give it a like and a share. If you think somebody's going to benefit from hearing it, and then also give it a share for them, because like I said, I'm just trying to help as many people as I can while I'm out here and just trying to document what life is really like. And so if you're not already subscribed, please do, because if you subscribe and I do manage to go live, if I can go live from hospital, that'd be awesome. Because actually, come back to me for a second. I did wonder if they'd let me live stream the operation. I mean, I know they won't, but that'd be quite cool. I'd be like Big Brother, just be me laying in a hospital bed. Do the world's longest live stream of like 10 days. Actually, what is it? Is 10 days the world's longest live stream? Probably not. Probably more than that. But anyway, could live stream for 10 days and you could just like jump on. It'd be really weird, wouldn't it? It'd be like Big Brother, but a crap version or an even worse version. I didn't watch Big Brother. But right, guys, if you've got any questions, I will sit and answer questions for a bit longer because I've got a lot of energy tonight. So if you've got any questions, ask away. I'm gonna promote the Boozio Cup, which isn't a paid promotion. I just like it. Lee and Lou, you've got similar ones of these, right? And you like them. They're good. I get nothing from it. I got it off Amazon. I haven't got an affiliate link to give anybody, but they're really good. And they keep your drink cold for many, many hours. So I'm going to have a drink of my cold water while I wait for questions to come through. You guys are going to miss watching me drink water on a Sunday night. I know. This is riveting TV, isn't it? Like, you could have watched. In fact, is the World Cup even still on? I think it was on. Actually, is the World Cup on? Yeah, somebody said it was the final tonight. I don't watch football. I think the final's on. Right. Oh, hang on a minute. There's lots of things coming through. Right, let me have the drink. And I'll come back. Okay. What do we have? Steve. Steve, hi Mark. You are certainly not just a guy on the internet. You have been unbelievably generous with your time and advice for everyone here. I'm sure you will get the outcome you thoroughly deserve. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. That's really kind. Thank you. Actually, do. I'm sitting there thinking that's really nice. Thank you. Again, I don't know what else to say to compliments like that. So I'm just going to say thanks. So I'm going to have to move on. Lee, me and Lou will visit you in hospital, mate, but not bringing you blueberries. I know they're expensive, right? Anyway, I won't be able to eat them unless you can mash them up for me as well. Now, I'm not going to be able to eat them because I'm literally going to be on a liquid diet for the first 2, maybe 3 weeks. And then, and then if I've been really good, I get to have some mashed potatoes. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be my life. I don't think I'm going to be on solid foods for about 6 to 8 weeks. It's horrible. I wonder if can you blend a fillet steak? Can you put a steak in a blender? Just make like a steak smoothie. I mean, it sounds horrific. Don't know what it'd be like. Um, but actually, yeah, actually, sorry, Lee, you said about blueberries. I have a question for people in the UK because I will let you know if it's a thing out here. If anybody visits me in Cyprus, you don't have to, by the way. I'm not saying you should. And I'm not even to be honest. I'm not expecting anybody to, because I'm going to be out of it anyway. Probably for the first 2 days, I'll be asleep, so not much point. But anyway, if anybody visits and anybody brings me Lucasade, I will report it because that seems to be a thing in the UK where whenever you're in hospital, you get Lucasade. I don't know why that's the thing, but everybody gets Lucasade. So, yeah, I've not seen Lucasade on the island, the fizzy orange original Lucasade. So maybe recovery won't be so good after all because if I haven't got a bottle of Lucasade, maybe it's not going to work. Alex, I'm back in the UK this week to walk 24 hours for cancer research. I'll be walking for you. Stay positive. We're here for you. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Thanks, Emma. Thanks very much. And good luck. Good luck, by the way. I don't know if that is that. I assume it's a sponsored walk. If you want to, I mean, feel free to put your link in here if you've got a sponsored link. I mean, that'd be cool. You can send me the link as well. Maybe we can do something. But yeah, that's cool. Good luck. Best of luck with it. Ella, what time does the social start? I will hopefully come when the next in Cyprus. Okay, so ordinarily they were starting at 11 and I'd put on there something like 11 till 1 or 11 till 3. It was basically start at 11 when everybody gets bored, go home. There's no it's super informal. It's kind of like pay as you go, pay for what you eat, pay for what you drink. If you don't want to eat, you don't have to eat. Just come and have a chat. So for the first two sessions we've had, it's kicked off at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. on a Saturday. Going forward, though, it's probably going to be half 11, mainly because I want to go to Cliff Social. In fact, I'll show you what that is, just in case anybody doesn't know. Let's be a little bit interactive tonight, shall we? Oh, bring me back. So if I go on here, for those of you that don't know, it's this one. So it is on a cliff. Could you believe it? And it's this place here. So lovely place, nice bar, and kind of looks like a nightclub. This is not where we're going. I'm not taking you to a nightclub, I promise. But basically, you end up with some quite nice views over the area. You've got this outdoor area, which is where I'm hoping we'll all be, because there's an outdoor area out the back. And if we're there in the sun, it's all going to be under shade as well. But there's a bit of a playground for the kids. There's loads of spaces for the kids to run around, for any kids that do come. And it's just quite a nice area. I'm trying to find some more pictures of the outdoor space. But anyway, no, that's the indoor space. Yeah, there you go. So you got a nice view, you got the sea and everything else, and so it's a nice venue, and I just think it's going to be less touristy than if we stay down by where did we go? Forgot the name of it. Barracus Lounge. So we've been to the Barracus Lounge first two times, and I'll be honest, I just it looks nice. If you go there as a tourist, you go there once and you take some nice photos, it's great. But if you go there and you're trying to get decent service, and it's just, I don't really get on with it for some reason. I just never seem to get very good service there. I don't know what everybody else thinks in the chat. By all means, actually happy to get some feedback for those of you that have been. But I just think Barracus Lounge is a bit average. So we'll try this place. If we can make Cliff Social work, then we will make this the permanent home for the meetups. The reason why I say half 11 though instead of 11 is, in fact, I will just show you because let's bring this back. So on the reviews, and I didn't review this because I didn't look at this because I thought, oh, what's it like? Because I've been here loads and I like it. I like the food. I like the people. It's not the cheapest place in the world, but it's just a nice setting. Yeah. But when I started reading some of these reviews, of course, whenever I try and show anything to you guys in real time, it never proves my point. That's a 1-star review. lowest ratings. They're all moaning about the time. Well, maybe not all of them. Anyway, not going to waste your time looking through reviews. The reviews that I read said if you go on a Saturday or you go at the weekend, ignore the opening times on Google because it's supposed to open at 11 and 11 is flexible. 11 is Sega, we will open when we want to open. So the last thing I wanted is to say to you guys, let's get there for 11 and then we're all kind of stood outside waiting for somebody to come and open up and then we don't get in there till like 20 past 11 or something. That'd be a bit rubbish. So it might be half 11. I'm going to double check with them. It might be half 11, it might be 12 just to be safe, but I will put some timings down and then, well, I'm not going to be there. So you can feed back how it went. Hopefully you will get in, get a drink, but that's the plan anyway. So I'll do that and we'll try it there. Asher, 9 days is the longest live stream by a Polish influencer. Ooh, ooh. Should we go for 10? That would be really, really bad taste, wouldn't it? Live streaming from the theatre room and then me in bed in the hospital. You guys get to watch me wean through a tube and being fed through my nose. Not really kind of the Mark Unfiltered that I'm going for on this. Right. Ella Brown, we'll miss you for the next few weeks. Oh, well, for what it's worth, Ella, I will actually miss doing this. Like I say, I get a lot of fun doing this on a Sunday night. I love meeting new people, love talking to you guys, and love answering questions. So I've even said to my wife earlier that I was looking forward to tonight, even though the subject is horrible and the topic is, not great. And as you can see, I've got a little bit emotional at times. I still enjoy doing it. I enjoy connecting with people. I enjoy talking to people, and I'm going to miss it for sure because I'm going to be laying in bed and I know for a fact that when it goes past Sunday, I'm going to be laying there thinking, should be live right now. And that's going to suck. I know it is. So yeah, and when you guys are meeting up on the Saturday, that's going to suck as well because I want to be there. I want to be there and meet you guys and see you in person for those of you that I've not met and for those of you that I have met, it'd be cool to see you again anyway. So yeah. So I miss it as well. World Cup has started, no goals yet, but Spain will win. Well, so there's 32 people. So there was like over 50 people on it at one point, but there's now 32 people left. That's 32 people, like-minded people who also don't like football because you're watching me and I'm not watching football because I don't like it. So I guess thank you. I don't know. Unless you're watching the background, I'm just this background noise now. I'm just there on your phone that you've put on the counter and you're not even watching it. Martin, here's a thought. Here's a thought for you, Mark. If you get some time this week, you could set up text to voice and clone your voice through AI. Then we can still hear you whilst you're laid up in recovery. laid up recovering. Well, it's funny you should say that, Martin, because I did contemplate this so I wrote a book about, I don't know, 18 months ago, maybe, wrote a book. And it was to do with property and remote property investing. And I turned that into an audiobook. And I didn't actually record the audiobook. I used a piece of software to use my clone voice because I didn't want to have to sit there and read my book out and kind of, have me reading it and narrating it. So I did think about that. But then I thought that it goes against everything I'm trying to do on this channel. The reason why I went go live in the first place, and for those of you that have been watching me from early on, you'll know why. For those of you that are new, you won't know why, so I'm going to tell you now. The reason why I go live in the first place is because this is really hard to fake. You can fake my voice. You can fake my face, right? You can fake everything you see on the screen, but it's really hard to fake the interaction. Like this, talking to you guys in the comments, that is really difficult to fake. You'll be able to fake it at some point, but then I will just come up with a way of proving how it's not fake and how it's live. And that's why I go live, because in a world where everything you see online is fake and everything you see online is AI and you question everything, how do I actually connect with people if I'm not sitting here talking and connecting with people? So I love technology. For those of you watching this, I love tech and I love AI. I use AI a lot. I do even use AI on this channel, not for this, but I use it for like some of the thumbnails that I create, things like that, where I don't care so much about the information. So, like when I set up a Facebook post, I tell AI what I want to talk about, and I just get it to jot me down a post really quickly because I don't have time to sit there and be writing all this stuff out by hand. So AI is fantastic for using it for productivity, but where I draw the line is when people try and use it to pull the wool over people's eyes. People use it to kind of fake the interaction. And I know people have said to me, "Why do I do this? Why do I not just do pre-recorded videos?" Well, if I do pre-recorded videos, I'm kind of going to be like everybody else that's doing a Cyprus channel. I could do a pre-recorded video; it would get more views. I did one pre-recorded video where I was going on a plane to England when the time of the conflict was happening, and that's got more views than any of my live views. But I don't care about views in the nicest possible way. I don't care. What I care about is interaction. I care about building relationships and talking to you guys. And I can't do that with a pre-recorded video. It's really difficult for me to react and respond on a pre-recorded video. If I was just doing it for likes and shares and things like that, likes and like channel growth, yeah, I do pre-record videos and stuff. And I'm desperately trying not to go down that route, but I might have to, not because I want to grow the channel, just because I might not be able to use this for a massive period of time. So I may have to. And maybe Martin, maybe AI is the way I do that. But if I do that, it will be very clear that it's not me speaking like this, if that makes sense. Because I just think if you want to be as genuine as possible, if you want to be as authentic as possible, then you just have to see me, warts and all. Every time I make a mistake, you get to see it. Tonight, I get emotional, you get to see it, right? If I get something right, you get to see it. If I find something funny and I laugh at one of my own jokes and none of you laugh, it doesn't matter. You get to see it. Like, I hate it when people say you shouldn't laugh at your own jokes. Why? If I didn't think it was funny, I wouldn't say it. So of course I'm going to say a joke, and of course I'm going to laugh at it. But that's real, right? So I really try not to use AI if I can help it. But I do take the point, and maybe I can do something where I do like text to voice, where you guys post questions live on a Sunday night and I can type back. It'd just be a really crap experience, wouldn't it? Because it'd be like a chat room on a Sunday night, like a Sunday night live chat room. So I don't think people have watched that. I don't know. Jackie, Mark, I'm just wondering if you considered the Chimeras Club for the meetings. They are open every day now from morning till night and have a fabulous pool with lifeguard for the kids. No, I hadn't considered it, but now I am considering it right in this very moment. Hmm. Leave it with me. I don't know. I've been there. I like the Chimeras Club. I will have a think because that every time I've gone in, it's quiet. It's stone dead. So not that that's a bad thing. For those of you that don't know what the Chimeras Club is, by the way, I will just show you. So the Chimeras Club is part of Leptos Estates, and it's something you get access to if you go and live in this case, Chimeras. Let me just go to the map. So you've got Tala, and then you've got Chimeras here, and you'll see you've got the Chimeras Club just here. And what it is a club that is open to the public. Anybody can go there, but you can basically when you're living there on site and when you're living in the Leptos village, you get access to this, you get access to the medical center and things like that. And so this is what Jackie's referring to. And actually, you know what, Jackie? That's a bloody good idea. That is a good idea. Because like I say, whenever I've been in, there's loads of space. Loads of space. And there's the pool for anybody interested. Jacob would love it. He'd be over the moon. That's a really good idea. Quick vote in the comments for those of you that are online. Chimeras Club or let me just pull them both up. Let me just pull up another one. And I'm not there. Right, let's do this. Because I don't mind. It's like I say, it's our meetup, it's not my meetup. So, Cliff Social or Chimeras Club. What do you guys fancy? Let's do. Can I do a vote? Can I do a poll or anything while it's live streaming? I don't know. Let's have a look. What features have got? Create a highlight video, insert an ad, add a stream marker, share. Can I do anything with a pop out chat? No. I don't know if I can. Doesn't look like I can. That's all right. So, just in the chat, actually, I'd be interested to know, for those of you who are watching, what do you think? Camaras Club in Camaras or Cliff Social in Paphos? Maybe try both. Maybe do one month and one the next month. I do like the idea of that, Jackie. That's quite cool because we definitely won't have a trouble booking tables, and the setting's lovely. Anybody got any opinion? Right. Oh, hang on a minute. Okay, so I'm missing some comments, but I'm seeing Camaras Club when we move out in August. Yep, not surprised because it's near to us, right, or near to you. Won't be near to me soon because we're gonna have to move. We're gonna be downsizing. We're gonna have to move house. So I don't know where I'll be. Don't know where I'll be in a month. Maybe I'll be near Cliff Social. Who knows? Cliff Social is more central. So that was my thought as well. Camaras Club for me. Okay. Do both venues have plenty of shade? Yes, they do. Mike, try both. Yeah, it's a good chat, isn't it? Maybe we could. All right. See, I'm not going to be able to try both. Rotate is a good option. Maybe. So I'm just trying to give us a permanent home, Martin. I think that's all because I want it to just be not everybody asking. It almost just becomes like, oh, it's the first Sunday of the month. Let's go here. And then it's not necessarily reliant on me telling everybody where it is every month. It's just we just know we go and that's it. We just all meet up every month. So I'm trying to find a permanent home. But yeah, we can try a couple. We've tried Barrackers Lounge. That didn't really work out. Maybe we try Cliff Social next time, as in August. And then maybe we do the other one in September. I'll have a think and I'll put it out there, but I appreciate the feedback. I'm just going to jump back up because there was some comments that I've missed. So let me just go back up and come back to me. Oh, what we got? Karen, good evening, Mark. I've just joined the chat and I've managed to work out your news. I'd just like to wish you and the family all the best and hope the outcome is positive and you recover soon. Thanks, Karen. Much appreciated. Yeah, thanks for joining as well. So, yeah. Mike, got TV and iPad, so easy to multitask and watch the World Cup and join you. Okay, well, I appreciate that. I'm still. Don't know. I'm surprised there's people on. Now I know the World Cup's on because I didn't really know it was on. Somebody mentioned it earlier and I forgot. I now know the World Cup's on. I'm surprised there's still people on. So we are non-football people, or a lot of people on here are non-football people, which is fine. Stefan, good to have you on. And good to chat to you earlier. Hey, Mark, I'm glad you are staying positive. I'm no Mystic Meg, but I feel like you will get through this fine. Your videos and live Q&A gave me the confidence to move my family over here. Thank you. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Serious? See, look, this is my paralyzed face now. I can't do surprise. I can just do sarcastic. Serious. No, seriously. Like, is that true? If it is, that's amazing. And makes me very happy. I'm not going to lie. Jackie, it's not like that now, Mark. New chef, new furniture, longer opening hours, etc. Is that the Camaras Village? I'm gonna assume it was the Camaras Village, the Leptos Club. But it was nice anyway. I liked it. Ella Brown, we read that one. Cliff Socials More. Yeah, Martin, Camaras Club. Yep. Stephen, do both venues have plenty of shade? Oh, sorry, I've already answered that. Yes, they do. Mike, try both. Yeah. Rotate is an option. Done that one. Jackie, second point is they have a monthly meet the neighbours first Saturday of every month from 1:30 onwards. Oh, so I'm going to be competing with Meet the Neighbours. That might not work then. Not that I don't want to compete. It's just that if we go to Meet the Neighbours, then one, we might interfere with their group, and two, it might be locked down for people living in Camaras. Maybe that won't work. Not sure. Lee, Camaras might be easier for Asher too. Maybe, but it depends where we live at that point in time, Lee. I don't know where we're going to be. A month from now, I have no idea. We probably might not be in Tala. So who knows? Stefan, Camaras Club is only 500 meters from my new place. That would be handy. Awesome. Very cool. Well, I mean, there seems to be a lot of votes for Camaras. Lee, happy to pick anyone up if they haven't got a car. What about if they can't drive because they're having radiotherapy? No, that's awesome, Lee. That's very kind. Steve, we're both football fans, Mark, but there are some things much more important than sport. The arrogance in me wants to say me, but I don't believe that for a second. I just maybe you just got busy and maybe you just happened to stumble onto this. I don't know, but if you're here for me, then much appreciated. I mean, well, I'm guessing you are because you're in the chat and you're saying that. So very kind. And yeah, thank you again. I'm still blown away by it, to be honest. So yeah, thank you very much. Oh man, right, I got it. Right, got it. Tomoko Nishimoto 8941. Did I say that right? Tomoko only. Right, everybody in the chat, just read this out loud to yourself, and you can see why I'm struggling. Just read it. Tomoko. Oh man, Tomoko Onish. Anyway, right. Apologies, I've totally butchered your name. What is your name, by the way? Because I clearly can't say that one. Stunned by the sad news. I hope you carry the thought that we are people who love you and count on you. Really? That blows my mind. I'll be honest. We will be all waiting for you to win this fight. Let the surgeons do their work. Good luck. Thank you. That is, that's very nice to hear. Thanks. Philip, my Mark, it's because of you that I've moved forward by 1 year my relocation to Cyprus as a recently retired UK resident. Thanks for your support. You're amazing. I arrive in 26 days. Can't wait. Holy crap. That's epic. Well done, Philip. Jeez. That is well done. That's amazing. And, you know, a theme I touched upon tonight is, tomorrow's not promised to anybody, right? And for those of you that are thinking about moving to Cyprus, for those of you that are thinking about, even if it's not Cyprus, maybe you're watching this thinking, I'd just like to go abroad. Maybe you just want to move to a different town in the UK. It doesn't matter. If you're thinking about it and you're in analysis paralysis and you're just constantly churning over and you're overanalyzing, what are you waiting for? What is the worst that can happen? Right? You can always go back. So it's awesome that you've sped that up, Philip. And yeah, I just think that's great. We did the same. We pulled our whole life forward. We moved a year quicker than we intended to because we asked ourselves that very same question. In 2023, when we were doing, or 2022, sorry, when we were doing the trial living, we were out here for just under 6 weeks. And 2 weeks in, me and my wife and my boy, we were talking and we're saying like, well, what do we miss? And we didn't miss anything from the UK. Like, we weren't even missing friends at that point. 2 weeks in, it sounds horrible, but we weren't. And 4 weeks in, you start to think, well, what are you missing? And at that point in time, the only two things we were really missing was a dishwasher, because the Airbnb we were staying in didn't have one, and decent internet. And then we were like, well, look, if it feels this good now, why would we wait another year? Like, it could be dead in a year. So why would we wait? Why wait 2 more years for this to happen? Why not just move it forward? And again, I know there's always circumstances where people can't, but challenge yourself. If you people say, I'm going to move, I've got a plan to move in 5 years. 5 years, That's half a decade. Why can't you move next year? Why can't you move this year? There might be reasons why you can't, but make sure you're being honest with yourself, because people that say, I'm going to move in 5 years, it's you're pushing that decision down the road and you're delaying that decision because fundamentally, I think it comes down to fear. It comes down to fear of the unknown. And I get it. Moving abroad can be scary. The unknown can be scary. So I totally get it. But don't kid yourself by saying, I can't because of XYZ reason, because you could. You just got to choose what you want more. The thing that's holding you back, or the life that you keep dreaming about and always make an excuse not to go and grab with both hands. So, Philip, awesome news. Congratulations. I look forward to meeting you when you come out. I think that'd be great. And yeah, to anybody else, if you are thinking about moving, just, I know everybody's circumstances are different, and I know not everybody can really move straight away, and you have to plan things out. But, I think you'll underestimate what you can do if you really want to make it happen. People will put blockers in the way, and you go, is it really a blocker or is it just a delay tactic? Because people do that and you don't know you're doing it. And it's through fear. I'll move when, I'll wait for the stars to align. If this happens or when that happens, then I'll do it, and you become, and then people, I've heard this before, but you become, and then it's like, if this and this happens, then I'll do it. Why? Why not just prioritize it? Why not, when this happens, then I'll do the rest of the stuff? The point is, and again, I'm going to touch upon this again. For those of you that have been watching this tonight and been watching throughout, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen day to day. Like a week ago, I didn't know I had cancer. I just didn't. It wasn't something that entered my head. I thought I might have, but I had professionals tell me that I hadn't, and I didn't look like a cancer patient. And yet here I am a week later, not even, and my entire world's turned upside down. So do I regret coming out here to Cyprus? Do I think I should have stayed in the UK? Not at all. Not at all. I'd probably regret it now, because if I was in the UK, it would be another reason not to come out here. It would be another, I can't do this because I've got to do X, Y, Z. Maybe this would be a valid reason now not to come out. But if you're in good health, then, what's the worst that can happen? Just try it, because you don't know where you'll be tomorrow. You don't know where you'll be in a week. Just do it. Just catching up on the comments. Where are we? Interaction from content creators is rare nowadays. That's why I tune in. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to apologize, by the way, because I recognize your username. And also, I know you have commented on some videos and I wanted to respond back. There's a few people commented on videos recently and I just haven't been anywhere near the comments. I see it come through and I've not been anywhere near them. And yeah, struggled for time is one thing, but also my head's been all over the place. Same for people reaching out on Instagram. I've only started replying to some Instagram messages today. So just have to bear with me. Bit up and down at the moment. So I will come back to you as and when I can, and I'll try and reply to the comments as and when I can. But I appreciate you tuning in. So thank you for that. And if I remember rightly, you're in the States. Is that right? So you're tuning in from the States now. So wow, sorry. I'm gonna come on to the comments again in a second. I'm just gonna go to my like and share screen, only because I can't blink properly. This eye is going really like blurry, and I'm struggling to read that now. So just give me 1 second. You can listen to some cool guitar music instead while I poke myself in the eye. Actually, that's going to be quite strange, because one of the other things I'm reading about is when I'm in hospital, if they do have to do anything with the nerve and all of this is all paralyzed, then my mouth's going to be, it's going to be numb and I'm not going to be able to do anything here. And I'm basically going to be dribbling and I won't even know I'm doing it. So I'm going to have to carry a sponge or a flannel and just dab my mouth. So yeah, if you see me dribbling on camera, you'll know I need to. Wow, sorry, you have to watch me poke my eye now. Okay, right. I have to zoom in for this one. First name Tomoko, surname Nishimoto, a Japanese. Well, why didn't you say that? That's so much easier when you break it down. That's awesome. Tomoko, lovely to meet you. Thank you for having you on. And it's a Japanese name. Are you in Japan? Are you watching from Japan right now? Or are you in the UK? And wherever you are, what's got you interested in Cyprus? Because I guess anybody watching this is either interested in Cyprus for wanting to move here, maybe come on holiday, I don't know. But also, and I think I've asked this a couple of weeks ago, for those of you that are now in Cyprus, so obviously, like some of you have met me through the channel and you've been watching me for a little while and you've come out to Cyprus, you now live here. Like, it feels like there's not really much else I can teach you or educate you on because you can experience it all for yourself. So I'm interested why people keep coming back once they've moved out here on the island. You know, I mean, it's awesome that you do. I just don't know what value I can give people that are already here because you can just experience things for yourself. But yeah, Tomoko, let us know where you're from. Oh, I assume you're from Japan based on the name, but let us know where you're living and what your interest is in Cyprus. Lee, off to bed, but final thought. Surely karma owes you one, mate. Absolute best wishes and speak soon. Oh, thanks, Lee. Thanks, Lou. Really appreciate that. And I don't know. We'll see, right? I mean, what's the saying? Karma's a bitch. Who knows? You know, I like to think that it does, but we'll see. Out of my control. Jackie, you got a great philosophy on life, and I think it will pay you dividends through this difficult time. Well, I hope so, Jackie. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just try and live life removing what ifs as you move along. You know, I think what ifs are, for me, the biggest regrets because you sit there and you go, what if I didn't move to Cyprus? That's a regret I didn't want to have. You know, what if I stayed in the UK? Well, that's a what if I don't mind having because I moved out here. But I think quite a lot of the time, people ask the wrong questions. You know, I've said this before in the video, but you know, what if I move to Cyprus and I don't like it? What if it's the best thing you ever did? What if I move to Cyprus and I don't make any friends? What if you move to Cyprus and you meet the most like-minded people you've ever met on the planet and you make the best friends? You know, people quite often ask the wrong questions, but I always do what I can to remove the what ifs because for those of you right now in England going, what if, you know, you're living in fear. What if I move to Cyprus and, you know, what if I move to Cyprus and the healthcare isn't good? What if I move to Cyprus and I don't know anybody? What if I move to Cyprus and it's really expensive? You know, what if I move to Cyprus and it's too hot? All of these questions is fear related to an extent. You know, you're unsure. It's a fear of the unknown. And while that's fine, I just can't help but think that it doesn't serve you to be asking those questions and just flip them around in their head because there's always the opposite side. You know what happens if you stay in England. Everything that you've got in your life right now, I talked about this in comfort zones, right? Wherever you are in your life right now, you've got a certain level of wealth in your life. You've got a certain level of like friends, family, you've got property, cars, whatever it might be. If you draw a circle around all of that, that's all inside your comfort zone. And now everything that you want, the life in Cyprus, the life abroad, the hot weather, the nicer climate, the lifestyle, all of these things you want are on the outside of your comfort zone. So you have to expand your comfort zone to be able to get the things you want. Now, if you don't expand your comfort zone, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you will always get what you've always had if you keep doing the same thing, right? There's a saying that I like, and I think it gets quoted by Einstein. I don't think he really said it, but basically, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And for those of you that are in the UK, you get two types of people. You'll get the people that sit there, they moan about the weather, they moan about the politics, they moan about the state of the NHS, they moan about immigration, they moan about all these things, but they don't do anything about it. And then you've got the other group of people that probably think all the same things, maybe have a little moan here and there, but then they do something about it and they just go. So I don't know where I was going with that, but the what ifs. Yeah. So I just think people need to do what they can to remove what ifs. And that is generally my philosophy on life is don't regret the things that you have done, regret the things that you haven't. Because, I don't think anybody watching this, you're going to get towards the end of life. Like I could be at the end of life now. Who knows? Like this could be my last week on the planet. And I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, I wish I didn't, I wish I didn't move. Oh, no, sorry. I'm not going to sit here and go, I shouldn't have moved to Cyprus. That isn't what will go through my head. But what if I was in the UK and I was going through the same thing, having the same thoughts, thinking, oh man, 43. I wish I went to Cyprus. Wish I tried it. Too late then. If this is it for me, it's too late. So on that basis, just do what you can to remove what ifs and don't regret the things you've done. Worry about the things that you haven't done and will you regret them later? It's like I was saying as well. The questions at the end of the video. I know some of you have joined late, but say late. It's not like there was a start time and if it like you're all late, you're all in detention. No, but what I mean is, if you didn't catch the video, the part of the video I was talking about earlier, I was saying like when people are asking questions or when you're asking yourself a question, and you want to be sort of looking at like for you personally. So rather than asking or rather than saying like, oh, it's a shame. Like I've got family, for instance, that have become and friends that became the wedding and funeral families, right? And the question that I was kind of saying to people earlier on to ask is if you knew that you were going to die, who would you call? Who would you tell? Like, what would you tell them? And what would you regret not saying to them if you knew you were going to go? And on the flip side, what would you regret not saying to somebody if they were suddenly gone? Right? What would you wish you'd done? Because it's kind of the same thing. It's like there's no point wishing and hoping and whatever you wish you'd done something earlier in life. Just do it. Just go and do it. Why wait until somebody's ill? Like I was saying earlier, why wait until you stood at somebody's funeral going, oh, I should have said this or I should have said that? That's the thing you'll regret. So just say it. Say the thing you want to the people that you want to say it to. Call the people you want to speak to. Don't wait because you think you've got time. Don't put off moving because you think you've got time, because you might not. So don't regret the things you do, just regret the things you don't do and try and remove them. That is kind of the philosophy I try and live by. Does it aid me? I don't know, but hey, I get to make stories. I get to, talk about things and I get to meet you people. So that's cool. I started out my YouTube channel in October and there was a part of me that was like, what if nobody watches it? What if nobody benefits from it? What if I'm just wasting my time? Well, don't know until I try, do I? And I was talking to myself for 3 months before people started tuning in. And I still remember the first time I logged in and like on my screen, I can see there's 32 people online now. And it'll tell me how many people are waiting at the start of the video before I actually hit the go live button. And I remember the first time I dialed in and it was no longer just my wife waiting. And there was like 2 or 3 people or something waiting for me to go live. And I was like, oh my God, like somebody's actually interested in what I have to say, So anyway, I wouldn't have, if I'd have just given in to fear and not tried it, then I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be talking to you. Literally, you guys wouldn't be sat watching me now on a Sunday night. Because there was a part of me that was thinking, what if it doesn't work? And I did say in my very first video that I'm going to try something. I didn't know if this format would work. I didn't know if going live every week and talking to people was actually going to work, because most people are the doom scrollers. They want cheap dopamine and they go through and they just watch reel after reel after reel after reel. And I didn't know if this would be entertaining or of any value or whatever for people. So who knows? And I tried it, and I said at the time, anybody that's watching this, you're either going to see me crash and burn in public or it'll work, and luckily it seems to be working. People seem to be getting benefit from it. So very grateful for that. Anyway, that's a lot of waffle. I'm going to shut up now. Okay, so Michael Summers. Okay, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 2 years ago. Holy crap. We have 2 small kids. Oh man. We somehow came through it. And now cancer free. The doctors and treatment today are amazing. I wish you well. Wow. That is incredible. I'm looking I'm looking sarcastic. I'm not. I don't know how long you've been watching, but I can't raise my other eyebrow. It's paralyzed at the minute, so I'm just like, that's awesome. And I mean, that is cool. Are you in the UK or are you in Cyprus? By the way, I just out of interest. And congratulations to you and your wife as well and the kids. That's freaking awesome news. Tomoko, okay, watching from Windsor, UK, planning to relocate Cyprus early 2027. Preparation underway. Awesome. Whereabouts in Cyprus are you going to relocate to? If you don't mind me asking. This is just like very much question, question, question. Yeah, where are you going to relocate to? Any preference on area? Martin, the last 12 months with Sandra's cancer made us reassess life. In August, Mark, we will be there for you, Asha and Jacob. You've been the inspiration and knowledge bank for us making the move. Holy crap. Really? Martin, Sandra, I mean, again, I'm hearing it and that's awesome. I'm staggered. I'm staggered that that is the case. I had a few people, even tonight, a couple of people tonight have said something similar now that it's because of me. And I just find it mind blowing. You know, I'm super happy. Don't get me wrong, I'm super happy that people are getting benefit from it. And that's what I say, you know, if you think other people will get benefit from it as well, you know, give it a share because that's what I'm trying to do. I'll just try and help as many people as I can. But it's awesome. So thanks, Martin. Thanks, Sandra. And you know, on the cancer front, I mean, I know we've spoken about this, and you know, I'm really glad for you guys, and that's awesome as well. So when you get out here in August, I'll be on the other side, and well, I won't be. I'll be going through it still, but I'll be in recovery. I'll be on the other side of the operation, and probably into radiotherapy maybe at that point. But anyway, we can certainly celebrate. So that'd be cool. Right, what time are we on? 11 o'clock. I do all right actually. Excuse me, get a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little bit tired. I will give it one last go. If anybody wants to ask any more questions, please feel free to do so because I'm not going to be here in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to go to the like and share screen. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to rub my eye because it's feeling really weird. And then I'll come back to last few questions if there are any. Okay, so just while we are waiting for any last questions to come through, so just a reminder then, so I will be going live next week and it will be my last live video for a period of time, unfortunately. So I'll go live next week. We will have friends arriving while I'm gone live and I don't know how long I'll be live for, so the Q&A might be shortened next week, but we'll see. After next week, I'll be back on as quick as I can. I have no intention of laying down and being in bed any longer than I have to. So if I can come on here and talk, I will be more than happy to. But yeah, like I say, don't know how long it's going to be. So let's just have a look at the chat one last time. And if there's nothing else coming through, then I will go and I will let you all go as well. You can get back to the World Cup for anybody watching it. Tomoko, Paphos to start with, visiting Paphos in November and December for a couple of weeks. Hope to see you then. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah, nice. Well, hopefully by then I will be well on the way to recovery. So I should actually be finished radiotherapy by then as well. Hopefully, if it is, as long as I think it is. So yeah, that'd be great. We'll do a December meetup as well. So be good to see you. Right. There is nothing else in the chat. So unless anybody else has anything they want to ask, then I will let you go. We've got 35 people online. Chris H. I'm late. Good to see you all again. Chris, we're just about to wrap up, mate. But good to have you on. Thanks for joining. We're just doing the last round of questions, Chris. So if anybody's got anything they want to ask, feel free to do so because there's not going to be many more of these for a little bit. But I will be back. Like I say, it is only temporary. I will be back as soon as health permits. But good to have you back, Chris, anyway. And if anybody is free on the 1st the first Saturday in August, then there will be a meetup happening. I will confirm the venue for everybody else because I won't be there, unfortunately, but you guys can be, so that'd be cool. Any other comments, questions from anybody? If not, then I will leave you to it. I will let you go. Not seeing anything come through. So on that basis, I will leave you to it. Enjoy the football if you're watching it. Have a great week all. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for all of your kind comments tonight. Really, really appreciate that. And all of the love and support you guys are giving, because blown away by it. Really am. So thank you and have a great week. I'll catch you soon.